Okay, so as I was looking to create the flywheel piece, notice that the dimension for the center of this is off of the radius, and this lower fillet. Neither one of those are given. So, of the two, I'm okay with the 9 millimeters. It does look a little bit big, but if we were to say that is 2 millimeters, and I were to go to 7 from a manufacturing standpoint, being able to run through there with a 1/2 inch end mill and create those shapes is probably preferable if I'm going to shrink it down. 236 would require a 3/8 end mill, maybe possibly a 7/16, but that's okay. So we could do that, but in the world of tooling, a 1/2 inch end mill is one of the most readily available and most produced. So going over to our wheel drive. Again, we have the circle, we have the circular slot, we have a couple of holes, so this will be pretty straightforward. Our first 10 millimeter, so 10 millimeter with a slightly larger, and then the 10 millimeter, same basic concept. So we'll have to look at the stack up of which one of these we're expecting to turn. So nothing really too crazy on the tolerances. So let's get that out of the way, and we'll start our new part. And sketch on the front plane is fine. S key to circles. We'll get those in, place our dimension of 80. And our maximum material condition of 10. Don't know that those are always going to be equal, so I am going to separate those. To get our spacing, make sure I pick the origin and the center point to make those vertical, and its dimension is 30. And again, picking the perimeters of the circles rather than the center points for the dimension, so that I have access to that max min condition if I need it. Which don't often need it, but it's sure is handy when we do. Question then is, do I go ahead with the slot? And if we go with the center point arc slot, putting it in place, and I'm just doing the click here, and one more click to place it. Alright, so we have, it doesn't look like anything rides in this, like intermittent motion or any of that type of geometry, so they're giving us a radius of 5, and then we have 120. So this is one of those occasions where if we pick the vertex, we could always draw the construction lines, but if we pick the vertex and then the two outer points, that's going to be a little bit easier to work with. And then we didn't go quite defined. So let's see, is it going to give me those two endpoints? I may end up having to do a construction line anyway. Alright, so it's still focused on the slot. So that being the case, we'll connect those 2 points, make it a construction line, and make it horizontal. Alright, and then we need, let's see, are we given the radius? Well, the assumption would be that since we're not given the dimension, and that would be on the same center, we could not concentric, coincident. That looks a little bit bigger, but let's just go in and do a quick verification with a center point arc. If I continue that through, alright, and there are no construction arc slash circles, we have to convert it. And so again, that's kind of the assumption. I'm not seeing a dimension that says otherwise, so looks like that's what I'm going to go with. All right, so let's go ahead, since this is an extrude, we'll right click, go into the extrude. Doesn't really matter the direction, 7 millimeters on the thickness. Yeah, something still looks strange about that, and I'm not quite picking it up. So let's go ahead and save it, and that'll be another iteration in the process of creating the assembly and the drawing that we'll keep in mind to correct for if needed. All right, so part number, the CH9-15B, material still SA20, and if I'm using enough 1020, then I will want to add it to the list. So let's apply it, and then we'll come over to favorites and add it, and it's fine at the bottom. So finish, we'll stay with raw. And again, if I'm the one using this template the most, I may go over into the file properties and save that back to a my part millimeter template. Okay, so again, those are being applied to the custom and to the configuration specific. And that completes our wheel.